Model 5, Lecture 4, Closing a Deal. The intention of most negotiations is to close the deal. Closing the deal is the climax of the negotiation process and is a point where both parties have accepted terms that they are happy with. Closing a deal is a stage when all the negotiations reach a consensus and an agreement is built. The parties must stop taking in further information and make a final decision. A little effort at this stage yields the desired results of the negotiation. Closing a deal can have two different meanings. It may ask about concluding different ideas to a mutual agreement. It may question the means which the participants can use to realize or implement the agreement. There are the following techniques to get to closing. 1. Make repeated requests for agreement along the line. If not now, when? Don't talk too much as this may be seen as a sign of anxiety. 3. Request a reason for a lack of agreement. 4. Assure the other party that there is a good reason to close. 5. Act as though you have reached an agreement and discuss the details such as delivery times, etc. 6. Make physical actions. Start signing a document or shake hands. 7. Emphasize any losses that would occur if an agreement is not reached now. 7. Provide special inducements only available if you agree now. Realizing that the negotiation has reached an agreement can be very simple. You just need to ask the other party, well, do we have an agreement? Then the other party can do the handshake, announce, publicity, or signs document. The real issue is to clarify the other negotiations is that a mutual agreement has actually been reached. What's the right time to close a negotiation? Ultimately, both sides of the table are going to want to wrap up a negotiation process when they think that they have negotiated an agreement they can live with. What each side is doing is trying to balance the proposal that is currently on the table against the alternative, not reaching an agreement. This is Elmer's negotiation definition. Which parts provide them with more gain and less pain? One additional point that will help both sides agree that now is the time to close the negotiation is if both believe that the other side has made all of the concessions that they are going to make. Ultimately, what this comes down to is that there is no point of continuing to negotiate anymore. When we reach the end of the negotiation, all of a sudden the level of pressure on negotiators goes way up. We are now under a great deal of pressure to not only make difficult discussions, but to also make the right decisions. The level of information that starts to come our way during this final stage of the negotiation can be enormous. When all of this starts to go on, a negotiator can start to make mistakes. It might not even be what we do, but rather what we forget to do. Unfortunately, just when it becomes crucial that we clearly communicate with the other side of the table. This is exactly when misunderstanding can start to creep into the negotiations. The consensus. People tend to perceive the constituents of the consensus in different ways. Applying in negotiations, it involves a strong agreement on important issues. It is not necessary to hit everyone's favorite taste buds to reach consensus. Rather, everyone should feel that the result of the negotiation is acceptable. One of the toughest parts of the negotiation is to build a consensus. This is because the parties that are negotiating will have different visions of the result. Consensus can mean differently to different people. For some, it is undesired compromise where the result of negotiation does not fulfill all the desires. The motive behind the consensus is to please as many people as possible. The best outcomes in actuality are the ones which leave nobody to unsatisfied. In ideal circumstances, everyone can be pleased equivalently and totally, but nothing is ideal in this world. The harsh reality is that when someone gets pleased, someone else gets displeased. Thank you for your attention.